Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Tony, and you're listening to All Elite Retrospectives 3. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Dave. Dave, how are you doing today?
Good. This is our fourth episode, I think, though. I'm not sure. It's hard to keep track of these things, but I will say it's our preview episode. We are actually recording this 2 days before All Out, and it's the eve of All Out. So we wanted to do a pod. We would basically record the same day we would post it.
Cool.
Just to give the most updated information for this massive event. So a lot of it's been about a little over a month since our last pod, and we got a lot of news. We'll try to make this pod shorter. I'm just full disclosure. Since we are just doing a preview for a show and not doing a review for a show, and reviews in our name, but a lot going on. NXT has now begun a Wednesday night war, starting their debut. I don't know what day it is. I think it's on a Wednesday. Don't worry about it. It's a few weeks before AEW debuts on TNT on October 2nd. But exact same time, 8 to 10. So that kind of makes things pretty interesting. I don't know what your take on it, Tony.
In some ways it's interesting, in some ways it's not. I kind of feel like WWE's kind of setting his hopes up for failure here, because already the first news we heard right off the bat is they're going to be on Wednesdays on USA, but the problem is they're going to immediately go up on the network the day after. Which sort of excuses people from having to choose one or the other. It's just like, well, I'll just watch NXT on the network since I'm already paying for it, and I don't have to choose. And AEW's only on TNT, so I don't have to choose.
That's a good point. I didn't realize that because I know the SmackDown and Raw turnarounds are weeks later. So next day, then that's certainly not as quite as detrimental. However, if you're Joe Casual, which supposedly we need to worry about, the person doesn't watch wrestling, supposedly a lot of people feel in the market, the Jim Cornettes of the world. Then they might be like, oh, that's the new wrestling group. This is NXT. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing about this a lot, or whatever. And just some guy who just really doesn't know their ass from their head, pro wrestling wise. Think like that's the new wrestling group.
Well,
the world
actually, that may happen now that you bring it up. Someone might confuse the NXT for AEW. They just assume, it's the new wrestling on Wednesday, okay, and they flip on USA out of habit. And they think NXT is. Although my thing is, I don't know if NXT. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
I was just gonna say channel surfing might be a thing, where it's just like, okay, I gotta watch that new wrestling show, and this first thing, it's USA. Okay, sure. So it's very casual, caveman type.
Well, since we're talking about casuals, I wonder how many casuals are gonna want to watch NXT, because it's already got the WWE brand, so you have to imagine the people are gonna watch this already watching Raw and SmackDown. I can't imagine them pulling brand new fans. Whereas AEW, we've seen the numbers from Dave Meltzer's breakdowns, and they are drawing new fans. I mean, I have to imagine some are just disenchanted WWE fans, but at the same time, I have to imagine at least a considerable portion of the new AEW fans are just people that are fans of AEW and the Bucks.
Yeah, and TNT is a really strong network. The synergy that they have is just as strong as it was, or obviously stronger in a way. Depending on how you look at it. A lot of people, mostly people stream, but people stream Hulu. I'm going to watch AEW Hulu. They watched it. Still viewing TNT. So, it's something. It's one of the top networks, and so is USA. So, I think it's gonna be interesting to see if they I always thought the most interesting thing about the Monday Night War was just kind of how it affected the other product, that they had another product going on at the same time that they obviously were in contention with. So if anything kind of spills over, on either end, that'll be kind of a lot of fun to watch, but, and we'll cover that, but otherwise, when we do our weekly show, we're just gonna be covering AEW stuff. So, and their show, but, anyway, so that out of the way, a couple new signings happened. Tony Schiavone is now signed. Big fan of Tony.
Every night will be the greatest history of our sport.
There you go. I like it. I mean, if you have JR and Tony on commentary, I think Tony might be more. I don't know. I think JR and Tony would be great. Like commentary with Excalibur.
From what I heard, the current plan is to not put him on commentary.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they're going to do that, but I think maybe in another respect, Shivani might step on the toes of JR and vice versa, and, whatever, but, and also he would be good, like, interview guy as well, like, just like the guy to go to for interviews, I think that's a great sign, and his pod's pretty successful, and so, he's gotten renewed life, and it feels so much more like the Turner brand, with having Shivani on Pro Wrestling.
I wish they would put Shivani in the booth, though, because the third guy that they have doing the play-by-play, I just can't stand. Like, yeah. He's a nice guy and all, but, like, really, he comes off as just, like, an amateur. And I'm just like, if you're expecting to put on a major league product here, you can't be putting a guy like this. I know part of the reason why they don't want to put Shivani is they kind of want to shy away from just being seen as a reboot of WCW, which I sort of understand, but at the same time, it's like, well, you also want a major league sounding product, and I don't know if you're going to get it with Alex Marvez.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I was like, for a moment there, I was like, I like that we both can't remember his name, but you do remember his name.
I think that's his name. Don't.
A bad one. Marvez sounds accurate.
Yeah, it's Alex something.
That sounds accurate. I don't know. But, obviously people, I remember Mike Hodgwood. I don't know if you remember Mike Hodgwood, from Ring of Honor Television on HDNet. Guy knew nothing about wrestling, but had also a pretty, substantial, commentary,
slap the porpoise.
Slap the porpoise, exactly. I thought he got a lot good. That's not good. A lot better over time. It's guys like Mac Adamley never, ever got any better. But of course, he was going through something, as we know, later years. So that makes sense. But Alex Marvez is a young man, so he shouldn't have any mental issues. He might grow a time, I say. That would be nice. Anyway, Orange Cassidy also got signed, and I'm like a huge Orange Cassidy fan.
Okay, then explain to me the appeal to him, because I'm not going to sit here and say this is a giant mistake, but from what little I've seen of Orange Cassidy, I don't get.
Well, it's funny because I actually really enjoy Jim Cornette's pods for a different perspective, and also his political leanings, but he absolutely hates, as he puts it, little dog pockets. I don't know. I think Orange got this. First of all, Orange is a very accomplished wrestler. If he was just like a straight up wrestler, he's really good. I mean, he's worked as Fire Ant Chikara. So you can see everything that he can do as a wrestler in Chikara and as Fire Ant. But, as far as the gimmick, he's got that thing down. He's just so laid back. I mean, it's just, I love the gimmick, I love the gimmick. He's obviously very talented in doing it, both as kind of theatrics and also in ring. I mean, the things that he can do, just running around with his hands in his pockets or whatever. I mean, he's a comedy act, but he's got legs, man. I mean, he's a super likable character for me. And, that's kind of what you need on the indie scene sometimes, or as of late, is a super likable character, like, say, Luchasaurus or something like that. He's just, that's like, that entertains some people more than others, but, it gets people's attention, I don't know. You'll see great things from Orange Cassidy, I'm sure, on TNT.
Okay. I don't doubt it, but currently at this point, as someone who hasn't seen a lot of his work, I don't 100% get the gimmick.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's step into, the preview, right? What we're here to talk about.
Exactly.
Stacked card.
I would say too stacked.
Too stacked, too sweet. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's good that Mox is out now, if that's I mean, you can't have too stacked of a card. They're asking $50 for this thing. So in the pro wrestling economy, that's quite a lot. Obviously we're going to get it, but, it's like 5 months of WWE Network or, maybe 5 GCW events or, a lot of these other streaming things. But it's worth it. I mean, it's like, it's also like going to a show, you get your friends together and, watching, And, it probably costs about $50 ticket to go to All Out. So I think it's got a card that's really worth it, good bang for your buck. And you have 10 matches on the card. Is that maybe the concern that there's too many matches on the show?
That's my concern mainly, the 10 matches on the card. I'm just like, geez, man, I understand getting your money's worth, but at the same time, there is that expression, less is more for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so attracted to all these matches. Like, this really, like, I'm just like, oh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. And even Omega's match, which I guess we'll just start talking about now. Kenny Omega now wrestling against Pac instead of Jon Moxley being injured. That takes a big, like, marquee match out. But what it does instead is, like, actually probably gonna set up a better in-ring wrestling match.
That's what me and my friends were joking at. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna miss out on Moxley Omega, but you know what? Them putting Pac in there, it might actually make the match better.
yeah, I would say so. I mean, Mox is pretty good, but man, Pac and Omega, come on, like, that's gonna be awesome. And like, yeah, so something I'm totally looking forward to. That'll be Pac's debut at AEW, because of course he had some issues before coming to the company, and I mean, it'll be a Omega showcase, and that's what we need. So that's what we all want to see when we pay $50, is to watch a Kenny Omega showcase.
Exactly.
So that's what we're gonna get. No. But yeah, going back, complete opposite side of the card. Pre-show, got 2 matches. This pre-show looks a lot better than any of the other pre-shows they put together before.
I think it finally got to them people criticizing their pre-shows.
Yeah. They're like, what? You're supposed to have the crappiest matches in the beginning. It's like, nah, but it's going to buy that. I don't know. Private Party, pretty great tag team. I've been pretty high on them. Against Angelico and Jack Evans. So 2 high flyers. 2 high-flying teams, I should say. And, this will be awesome. What do you think, Tony? Awesome?
Yeah, it's really going to be. This is exactly what you want to put in your pre-show. Just an absolute spot fest. Just going to have a really good match set. If you're on the fence about buying this pay-per-view and you watch this pre-show, your mind is going to be made up right there on the spot. I mean, I can't imagine anyone watching this and being like, not for me. No, if you're in the market for a new wrestling promotion, if you're sick of WWE and you want something that's a little bit more visually, aesthetically pleasing as far as in-ring action, you really can't do better on a big platform than AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a total showcase for what AEW is about. So, and it's on another level. I mean, it's on another level that you won't see on, like, any other wrestling product on television. So, to get that as a preview, great move there. And then you have the 21 women battle royal. It's casino battle royal, even though they're not in, casino. We get it, man. We get it. They did the Double or Nothing, and that made more sense as a 21, battle royal. This time it's for a shot at the women's wrestling championship in AEW, the women's title. And I don't know who they're supposed to face. Also, they have no TV time between now and then. So that's gonna be on the debuted episode of AEW on October 2nd. They're gonna have the title match, and I don't know if we just missed something, the last 2 women in this match are gonna be in the title match, or who they're setting up to be the opponent of the Battle Royal winner. But we'll find out, of course. Now, some of the women involved in this match, I'll just mention who's involved from what I've read so far. Allie, Yuka Sasaki, Dr. Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, Brandy Rhodes, although she might just come out and announce Awesome Kong instead. Jazz, Evilise, Teal Piper, Big Swole, and Sadie Gibbs. So, just names that pop up right on my, getting my attention. I've always enjoyed Teal Piper's work, so I'm glad she's in that. And it same for Evilise. Jazz coming back. That's pretty cool. I mean, she's got a lot of legitimacy. She did I don't know if she was a NWA Women's Champion, but she definitely was on one of their recent pay-per-views. So she kind of like came out of, basically not anybody talking about her for a while, in the past year. I don't know if she came out of retirement or she just was working random indies. Brandy Rhodes, she's an interesting act. I mean, I don't, she's not very, especially in a battle royal, it's like, what is she necessarily going to be able to do with that kind of character where she's kind of more your chicken shit heel or whatever. I don't know. But, Britt Baker right away, that her and Nyla Rose, I feel will probably win this match. Because they've really established both characters, but I think Britt Baker's like definitely the woman that you go with in that title match. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that she's in this battle royal. Maybe they're not setting something up for her to wrestle whoever wins this battle royal, but she's in the battle royal, and I think she's definitely who I would pick to win it and kind of showcase.
Yeah, as someone who's seen a lot of the promotional stuff they've had for like ticket sales and whatnot, the woman that they keep plastering on most of their advertising has in fact been her, the doctor. So I'm gonna go with her. She's probably the favorite to win all this.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, exactly. She's got the most accomplished wrestling background with also like, it doesn't hurt being aesthetically like good looking for cameras and also having a background where you're a brilliant doctor. So, I mean, that's, she's like a poster girl for the company for sure. But going into women's action, going to the actual main show, this is kind of weird for me. It's Riho versus Hikaru Shida?
That's as good pronounced as I've heard as any, yeah.
it's something, alright.
What a maneuver!
Yeah, what a maneuver. Exactly. And there's, I mean, all 5 fans that listen to us, about half of them are like, well, these guys are idiots. So. No, this woman's name, but I do know her background. She's been around for a bit, and obviously Japanese wrestler, has worked with Riho before, I believe, and Riho is like 2-1 on AEW events, so I feel like maybe they could make this like the other woman wrestles for the title match or something. It's definitely. It's just on the main show. I take it as a showcase, not just like a throwaway, They obviously have a lot of confidence in both women, and, I think it'll be a great match because Riho, like we've seen from her, has been pretty good. So. Yeah,
I've been dying for, as for people who have listened to our other episodes, I've been dying for just another straight Japanese women match, and I'm glad we're finally getting this. This is going to be really good. Like I said, we do have other women's matches on the card, but this is probably going to be the best one.
Yeah. Actually, I think we just covered both. Yeah, and I think this is going to be a best one because the Battle Royale will probably be a cluster. But
is the Kong's match still on the card?
No. Oh, the Kong versus Kong match.
Yeah.
Something must have happened there. Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now, and that's not on there. I know you're talking about that because they announced that from way back. So that's a good call. Well, as far as the official Wikipedia goes, it's not on here, so I feel like something happened. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. If it was Kong versus Kong, who do you think would win that match? Who's Kong do you think is stronger?
I see. I have a case for both ones. If you want to have, respect to the original Aja Kong, you might want to have her go over. But if they have Awesome Kong for more dates, I have to imagine if she's going to be working AEW, you want to give her a big win.
I would put over Aja Kong just because as good of a wrestler as Awesome is and as good as actress as she has been on Glow. I really hated the last season of Glow, so I feel like she should totally have the job out. I'm just playing.
Well, I'm looking at K-Side Seats here, and Awesome Kong has been added to the All Out Casino Battle Royal. So that's
so she's in there, huh?
Yeah,
so she's in it.
Yeah. So either they're looking to build that match for TV, or that match just fell through.
I think that would be a great match for TV, but it might have been one of those things where it was a little more difficult to get Aja involved. So for another go, but hopefully they set that up at some point. But yeah, okay. So I just heard about this today. SoCal Uncensored SCU, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels taking on Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt, and Luchasaurus. So yeah, this looks like a freaking awesome match, and it's with a act that is established, kind of like the 6-man kings of AEW, taking on an act that's getting over a lot lately, and very athletic on all ends. I'm really looking forward to this match and seeing what kind of what happens out there. I would still put over SCU on this match, but how do you see it?
I think this match is it's one of those things to where I saw it being made on Being the Elite, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. You have the two trios factions, and they're wrestling each other, and it's like, I felt like why didn't they announce this sooner? I think they were still figuring out parts of the card, because this is, now obviously I don't think anyone's going to buy it for this, but this added to the card really helps.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense, and although maybe the way they brought it up on All Elite, it was goofy, but
well, I don't know if you watched the show, Dave, but it's kind of a goofy show.
It's a tad goofy. It's fine. Mostly very gripping drama for me. It's gonna be awesome. So, I mean, all facts pretty over.
Yeah, but with that said, I think I'm gonna pick Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus, because I just feel like at this point, SCU is kind of there, I feel, to just do jobs. I mean, they're great and all, but at the same time, it's like, I don't see what kind of longevity you're going to get out of most of these guys. Scorpio Sky obviously is got a couple of years ahead of him, but especially Daniels, to a lesser degree Kazarian. It's like, and I think you'd want to put over young new talent that people haven't seen before. I think there's enough wrestling fans out there, they already know SCU, but they're not as familiar with, say, Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt, and Luchasaurus. So I imagine you probably want to give them the win here.
You could go either way. Certainly SCU lose nothing in defeat. So, so there's another match on the show. This is the only one that I'm like, okay. Darby Allin, who I'm pretty high on, he's great. Joey Janela and Jimmy Havoc. Maybe it's just Jimmy Havoc that's just like,
it is just Jimmy Havoc.
The most worthless guy in the company from what I have seen him produce so far.
I will say this. They signed Jimmy Havoc to be the hardcore guy. And up until now, we've only seen him in straight matches and battle royals. Maybe in this match he will prove his merit. He will finally be able to prove why they signed him. Because up until now, he's been pretty much useless.
Yeah, good call. And any match with the marquee of being the Cracker Barrel Clash. Let's try saying that 3 times fast. Cracker Barrel Clash. That match, that's I get good feelings about that match like that. Cracker Barrel in the name. It'll be hardcore, and I think Janela with Darby will be pretty awesome. So maybe Jimmy can do something too.
I'm thinking I'm trying to justify them putting Havoc in this match. Maybe they don't want to be Darby or Janela, and that's what Jimmy Havoc is in there for, just to take the fall.
Yeah. Maybe, because they're both building up. I feel like they're building both guys up, so that's possible. I would definitely, maybe it's just because he got an awesome showcase with Cody, I would definitely push Darby Allin over this match and kind of just make Darby kind of, I don't know, I get like a Jeff Hardy feeling out of him, but like, newer and, kind of like, I don't know, better is the right word because, Jeff had his day, but just kind of more fresh, certainly, so.
If you would just do something about that makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a great look. He's a good wrestler, but that face paint is just like amateur indie level stuff. That's not to be dismissive. I guess just like low rent, freaking wrestling, straight out of wrestling schools type of gimmick.
Yeah, no, I hated the gimmick at first too, but I knew what Darby had done before he came to AEW, and of course he's pretty much proven himself in AEW. So I think maybe they can work on that. Yeah, but other than one, they have a great product there.
Well, yeah, because the sky's the limit with that guy. He's got a great look. He's a good wrestler. They obviously felt they had confidence enough to have him go toe to toe with Cody, but at the same time, yeah, like I said, that face paint's got to go. I understand if he was like an ugly looking guy, but he's not an unattractive guy, so just drop the face paint.
He's coming home to Priscilla Kelly every night, so I mean he must be doing something.
Exactly.
Who I would think would be great if they brought her into the company. So I mean there's still women to be announced in that battle royal, but I now going to one of the bigger matches. It's the ladder match. And it's Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks for the AAA World Tag Team Championship. So interesting kind of like foil there, the partnership with AAA. The Lucha Bros coming in the champs, Young Bucks promotion. I think maybe Lucha Bros go over here actually. So what do you say?
I'm on the fence here because you kind of want the Young Bucks to go over, but at the same time they haven't done anything on TV yet. I don't know if the Bucks necessarily want to go back to AAA anytime soon. But at the same time, I'm sure AAA wants them for some more dates, so they may just give them the title. I don't know. This is kind of a pick'em's one.
It definitely comes. I mean, since they're booking the stuff and all that, and yeah, they are a huge draw internationally as well as nationally. The Bucks pretty much get to choose if they want to go over the match or not. So, do they want to do more AAA dates in the next few months, or are they pretty much preoccupied with the day-to-day AEW business and how rapid that's getting, and the weekly show and everything? So, but I think. I think Lucha Bros win here. It's, really puts them over because they've been jobbing a lot on the actual events, with the exception of their win over SCU. But, they've mostly been losing to the Bucks, so they need something to go over the Bucks if they want to continue this feud at all. Maybe this will be the end bookmark of their feud, and they go over, so I don't know, but it's going to be freaking awesome, and it should, if there was a world title match that night, I would say it could main event the show. I think it's definitely the biggest draw of the show.
Oh, definitely, hands down. Like, God bless Jericho and Adam Cole, but everybody knows that's the real main event of this show.
I think you could call an accident, or maybe I'm just hearing things. Don't worry. Yeah, Adam Page and Jericho, their world title match. That's got to be number one. And it's interesting because I feel like beyond what we may think who's going to go over, like who should go over? Who do you think should go over? With the TV show coming up, big national spotlight, should Jericho be their champion in this national spotlight, or should it be?
I think it should be Jericho. I mean, you could have made a case for pointing the title on Omega, but if it's down to Jericho and Adam Page, I gotta have to go with Jericho here. He's the big name that everybody knows. Just Cole, he's great, and I understand part of the reason why they're probably doing this match is just to, increase Page's stock in the company, so people kind of know who he is, and they take him sort of seriously as a main event guy. But I don't think he's going to win the belt.
Yeah, it's interesting because they could be making kind of like a virtue signal of putting over the young guy over the old guard, and everything, because that's exactly what the company AEW is all about. It's about the young guys, that haven't maybe gotten that national shot yet. But at the same time, that's maybe what a lot of people might expect would happen. Jericho's just a legit heel on the company. He's probably, I think he's pretty much the most hated guy in the company. And he's got that big name appeal. So Jericho, yeah, I think it would be a smarter move to have Jericho going over, making him an even bigger heel coming out of the match. And then maybe want them, maybe they have such a great match that you really, as a fan, want to see Page win that title one day. And then, down the line, he does beat Jericho for the title. But, it would be maybe a little anticlimactic if, Page wins here. But, so we got 2 more matches to talk about. Cody Rhodes versus Shawn Spears. And they've been setting everything Cody does. He sets up a great story. Another good story here. It's been set up for months. I'm looking forward to this match. It's going to be, Kenny has his showcases. Certainly an arguable point that the Young Bucks have their showcases. This is a Cody showcase. A little psychology and, some blood probably will happen and just, gimmicks. There'll be some gimmicks, but it'll be fun gimmicks. And, I'm looking forward to it.
Like I said, we're talking about stuff that, earlier that should be the main event. If, I feel like this is another marquee match that could conceivably be the main event, but because they want to put over their belt as the most important thing in the company, I understand why that's going on last. But really, you can make an argument for the ladder match, or I could conceivably make an argument for this. This should be the main event because this is going to be an all-out bloodbath, and it's going to be a great marquee match for both these gentlemen. And really, this is the kind of stuff that AEW probably wants to be doing. These really well put together grudge matches. And knowing Cody, the last couple of matches he's had, people sometimes sleep on Cody. They just, they assume it's the same Cody Rhodes from WWE, and he's going to go out there and put on like a 2-star match, and it's going to be okay, and it's not going to offend anybody, but it's not going to blow anybody's mind. But Cody, ever since he's left WWE, he seems to, he has a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to show people that he can go out there and have the 5-star classic.
Absolutely, yeah. I think everything he does is just puts a lot of thought into everything, in the presentation of everything. He's, he's kind of like, you can tell, he's a brilliant guy and he wants to help get guys over like he did for Darby, but at the same time, whenever he goes out there, he puts a lot of work into making sure he's the part of the show that you talk about the most after the show. And so, I am cautiously optimistic that this may be another show where this is the best match on the show. It could happen. So, it's interesting you mentioned the thing about, this being a potential main event because on Wikipedia's page, it's the match that's in the marquee, for all else is, Shawn Spears and Cody Rhodes. So that's where I get all my, news and information. No, that's not actually true. They changed it from Mox and Omega to that Shawn Spears and Cody because I guess they don't feel like maybe the people at Wikipedia that posted on the page, they don't think that Page and Jericho are big enough in the main event either. I don't know.
I would agree, but at the same time, Wikipedia is not a fountain of truth. So.
Oh, I don't know about that. Everything on Wikipedia is true. One match, I guess we kind of not forgot about, but, just kind of ignored or, bypassed. Bypass is a better word. We bypassed this match. Best Friends, Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, taking on the Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. It's for a shot at it's not for a shot. It's a match. Winner receives a first round bye to the AEW World Tag Team Championship tournament. So unless this is a double elimination tournament, I hate to be a jerk again and beat this over people's heads, but this is the first round match. This is not to get a bye in the first round because it's a match and there's probably only one match. Anyway, let's not worry about that. So Dark Order, they got a lot to prove still, I feel like. I mean, I like the Super Smash Brothers and in that previous carnation, but, man, the gimmick here sucks. And, I'm sure it'll be a good match. So, I'm expecting a good match.
I almost took you to task for forgetting this match, and then I realized the other team in this is the Dark Order, and it's like, oh, that's why. Yeah, here's the thing. As someone who's been going to PWG shows for a long time, been watching Chikara and whatnot, I like the Super Smash Brothers. They're a really good tag team. I've heard Dave Meltzer recently putting over their match with the Best Friends. With that all said, the gimmick is doing nothing for me. In fact, if anything, they're great, fantastic wrestlers that should be on the AEW roster, but this gimmick is just no buys, and it actively takes away from how good they are. And really, considering how good a tag team they are, there is really no reason why I should not be excited to see this match. Other than the Dark Order gimmick is not over. People don't like it. It's not popular. And I will say this of AEW. Unlike WWE, who tends to be kind of indifferent to stuff not getting over, I have to imagine eventually they're going to cave and going to drop this gimmick. Because it's not over. Nobody likes it. And if the trajectory seems to be that they're going to feud with the Bucks, I have to imagine, if not after the feud with the Bucks, at some point they gotta drop the gimmick because it's not over and nobody likes it.
So you talk about the trajectory. I mean, even just putting that out there with the Bucks, it should kind of get them over more. And maybe that's all that's meant to do, really, is just kind of put that out there. It's like, hey, we kind of have something with the Bucks going on, the most over tag team in pro wrestling, maybe history. So, pay attention to our gimmick. Maybe you appreciate it a little more. But maybe see what kind of heat that generates. And I think that's been kind of not maybe the best, results. And like I said, it'll be a good match, but yeah, I think what would probably be best if I'm just going to book the creative of AEW is, you put over the Best Friends, they get their bye, and then Dark Order just slips out to the back, and you don't bring Mac for like another couple months, and you do a totally different gimmick with them. Maybe something more light that they've done before, like Super Smash Bros. Obviously, you can't do that because of Nintendo, but on a national level, you can't do that. But something else. Because this is not working, and this would be a great way of just like Best Friends get the revenge from Double or Nothing, and we'll never hear from Dark Order again. I noticed there's no, maybe is it Leva Bates, the female librarian? She might be in that battle royal, although she hasn't been announced yet. But I noticed there's no librarian like, Peter Avalon or Leva Bates on this card at all. So maybe they're also kind of getting away from the gimmick, two gimmicks in the company that don't really work. So.
And that's so refreshing to see a promotion that has a gimmick, a character that's not getting over, the people that are running AEW recognizing it and then just dropping it. I think that's the way pro wrestling should be. It's not rocket science. Stuff like that, and then stuff like the pre-show, instead of just throwing on any old matches, they're actually throwing on good stuff. This company may not make all the great decisions the first time around, but the fact that they're willing to hear the fans and willing to cater to them, I think that's going to be the reason why this company is going to be a success, and maybe NXT may have problems down the road.
I think it's one of those things where, they're expanding NXT to 2 hours. That's kind of exciting, honestly, as a fan to hear. It's going to be live every week. That also is exciting. It opens up the opportunities for a lot more NXT guys that we don't see on television to get involved. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think that like the majority of the younger, little more intelligent wrestling fans are gonna, they're firmly in the camp of AEW. Certainly more passionate about that product than any other product in North America. I mean, the way they've been selling out all these different cities, holding 10,000 people in different parts of the country just for their television show, not even for Double or Nothing or All Out. Just everything they put up there sells really fast. And that's, they got the momentum. And NXT trying to upstart something, but AEW's firmly got the momentum going forward, and I don't think NXT will bring in real trouble. But if those ratings start to suffer, Vince is going to start booking stuff, and that'll be the end of NXT. Okay, yeah. Now I see how that could happen. Yeah, I see how that could be a problem because they'd be more in the spotlight, right? And the Vince,
especially if they're losing to AEW and badly. Vince is going to start booking stuff, and it's not going to help. It's just going to make things worse. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. He'll do something at all in the company, and then that whatever he does will be off. But it's funny because if you put a Raw against AEW or you put a SmackDown against AEW, I feel like AEW does better against even that. Not necessarily they beat those guys in the ratings, but that like they're able to attract and keep fans as a true alternative. NXT is the closest thing they could possibly put you next to AEW in WWE, and I feel like that's a pretty strategic move because you're cutting into this maybe the same fan bases. So I think there is going to be a little bit of trouble, but if we see a different NXT where they put kind of the focus more on what Vince thinks wrestling should be, then we're going to be they'll be in a lot of trouble.
Also, another problem with them, obviously you're going to make things harder for AEW if you're putting NXT on Wednesdays. But at the same time, too, you're putting the threshold for success of AEW a lot lower. Whereas before, people were like, well, let's see how AEW does against a SmackDown or a Raw. Now that you're openly putting NXT on Wednesday against AEW, if they go out there and beat AEW, not by very much, just by maybe a couple of points, that's going to be a huge success for them because that will be them beating WWE, even though they don't necessarily beat a Raw or SmackDown in the ratings. They put the threshold for success a lot lower for them, which I don't think if you're trying to damage your competition, I don't think that's what you want to do.
I think it's going to do the same thing that Monday Night War did and generate a lot more interest in both of these products. Mm-hmm. Just especially if they play off each other a little bit, that'd be smart. And maybe Turner, or TNT was maybe a little bit like taken back, like, oh damn, WWE's going to put a product on the same night. But even if NXT, I think, kind of what you're saying there, even if NXT comes, even if AEW and NXT come close to each other in terms of ratings, in any capacity, AEW has to see that as a win because they're beating or coming close to beating a WWE product. So that's, NXT is pretty over. They do pretty big crowds too. AEW again, the hottest ticket in pro wrestling. We all know that. So, in this show, all out the hottest, maybe the hottest ticket of the year. Chicago, second annual event in Chicago. That fans are going to be really passionate and coming from all over the world. It's going to be a really cool audience to be around. And I'm really looking forward to this show. I think that kind of wraps things up until next week, until we review the show. And any parting words there?
Nope. Everybody pay for the show, watch the show, have a good time.
Good idea.
All right, so that's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks for checking it out. And as always, check you guys out next time. Adios.
Arriba.